I'm very special indeed because I have my vintage guitar and you don't have one. It's made of old growth wood that you can never find. It sounds better than any modern guitar coming off the line. My vintage guitar makes me better than you. It's true. My vintage guitar makes me better than you.
The vintage Delusion, Burst Believer Fever, it's strong in some. I mean, these guys can't get over it. You know, and I'm saying, look, man, these vintage guitars, they're good. They're good sounding guitars, but they're not great. They're not the greatest sounding guitars ever made. They're just not. And yet here we go. Another guy, and this is kind of a younger kid too. So, you know, he could reject the bullshit if he wanted to, but instead he's buying into it, you know, full bore. Guy's name's Matthew Scott. But before I get to that, you got to see this, man. You got to see this. Tom is on here, right? Whining about my videos, once again, crying about my video. And he's saying, he wants me to produce receipt for sending him $1,000. I'm a nice guy. Okay, I'm a very nice guy. I've been very nice to Tom, making videos about him to spotlight him, and I send him $1,000 just because I'm a nice guy. All right, I send him $1,000, and all I get for it is grief and flack and blowback. You know, there's an old saying: no good deed goes unpunished. So I send the guy $1,000, and he's crying about it.
That's bullshit. Show me the receipts. Send me the PayPal receipt, and I will shut the fuck.
Send me the PayPal receipt. Tom, I didn't send it on PayPal, dude. I told you I sent it on Venmo. I showed you the screen. This is how dumb this guy is. I said, well, maybe 500. That's not enough. Maybe here, 1,000. Here's $1,000, Tom. Venmo, here's the screen. Done. You're looking for a PayPal receipt? No wonder you can't find it. Venmo, dude. Look on your Venmo. Oh my God. Anyway, Tom, look. I got $5,000 right here, buddy. I got $5,000 right here. All crisp $100 bills right here, buddy. $5,000 for you, Tom. I got $5,000 for you. $100 bills, buddy, right here. I got $5,000 for you, Tom. If all you have to do is go here to Burst Believer Fever 34 and pick out the burst. That's all you have to do. That's it. This guitar is the greatest guitar in the world. It's the best sounding guitar ever made, right? Tom, you need money? You need money, Tom? You're setting up a tip jar, or the highest paid, session guy in Nashville, the highest paid session guy in Nashville, and you have to put out a tip jar and get money from senior citizens. You need money that bad? Go win my contest, dude. I got $5,000 right here, buddy. I got $5,000 for you right here, Tom. All $100 bills. All nice $100 bills right here, Tom. All you have to do is win my contest, and anybody can win it, by the way, not just Tom. I'm saying, Tom, if you need money, you can have it. You can have it too if you want it. All you have to do is go to this video, Burst Believer Fever number 34, pick out the burst. You're done. You get $5,000. You can see, the thing is, I made this contest because all I hear about is, oh, it's the greatest guitar. It's the greatest sounding guitar ever. This is 59 is the greatest guitar. The 58 is the greatest guitar ever. The greatest sounding guitar. It's the best. I go, okay. If that was the case, It's the greatest sounding guitar in the world. Just pick it out and I'll give you $5,000. See, I didn't just go pick it out because these guys never show up. Isn't it funny how they just yak and yak on these forums, how great these guitars are, and they just yak and they just type and they type and they type and they pontificate and they oh, it's the old growth mahogany, man. No, it's not. Oh, it's tuning pegs. No, it's not. It's the nut. No, it's not. It's the workmanship. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. Okay, well, if it's all these things make it the greatest guitar ever, you should have no problem picking it out. None. You should have zero problem picking it out from any other guitar in the world if it's the greatest guitar ever. Here's sound examples. And guess what? They don't show up. They don't take the test. They're scared. So I go, okay, well, how about if I give you $5,000? How about if I give you $5,000? I'll give you $5,000 if you can pick out your precious 1958-59 guitar. I'll give it to you. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Guess what, guys? Nobody's done it. Nobody's picked out the 58 or the 59 yet. And you know who's not going to be able to do it? Tom. He didn't have the ear for it. He doesn't have a good enough ear to pick it out. Most people don't. Tom doesn't, of course. And all these guys in these forums probably don't. I hate to say it, but you probably don't. I don't. I'm telling you right now, if I took that test blind without knowing the results, I couldn't do it. And that's my point. My point is nobody can do it. Nobody can do it. Yet we still have these guys running around like this kid, this Matthew Scott kid. And he even titles the video, "The Greatest Acoustic I've Ever Heard." And bro, I have nothing against Matthew Scott. Hey, more power to the kid. You know, more power to the guy, man. Enjoy yourself. Pick out your guitars. Play your guitars. He plays guitars. He writes songs. He records records. I personally love guitar. I like the guitar community. I like playing guitar. I like people who play guitar. I watch people play guitar all the time. More power to the kid. He's a young kid, probably 26, 28 years old. You know, more power to him. I'm not saying anything bad about the guy. I don't even know the guy. But after watching his video, he said, write down in the comments what you think about how it sounds. So I said, okay. Very buzzy. Lots of notes not fretting well. Overall tinny sound. I could find 20 guitars at Guitar Center that sound better right now. And I'm not joking. Like, I could literally walk into Guitar Center and find 20 guitars that sound better than this, a 1942 Gibson Southern Jumbo. And the other thing is, like, your guys in the forum, no, you can't. But I guarantee you, if I walked in there with this guitar and a microphone and started playing guitars in Guitar Center along with this one, you couldn't pick this one out. Just like you can't pick the burst out from here, you couldn't pick out this guitar. If I walked into Guitar Center with this guitar, a little phone with a microphone in it, right? A little phone, and then turned my back and played a bunch of other guitars and played this one in the mix, you couldn't pick it out if you wanted to. You couldn't do it. And furthermore, I'll bet you would find that some guitars in Guitar Center sounded better. Many of them sounded better than this guitar. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, look, dude, I could go to Guitar Center and find 20 guitars that sound better right now. And you know what's funny of them? Some of them probably made in China. Matthew responded, well, it has about 80 years of use and abuse that needs to remedy, but in person you should hear it. And this is what these guys say. They say it in Emerald City too. Well, you know, we have real good, YouTube videos. We got some of the best demos out there, but you still can't get the history of this guitar till you're sitting in the room with it. And that's irrelevant. Like, that's literally irrelevant because you're 90% of a guitar, maybe even close to 100% of it, is the sound of the guitar, not the history of it. Not how much history it has. The history is irrelevant to the sound of a guitar, dude. I hate to tell you this, but the story behind the guitar is irrelevant to how a guitar sounds. I hate to say this to you guys, but the history of a guitar has literally almost zero to do with the sound. So if I hear a sound of a guitar, it doesn't matter if it was in the closet for 50 years. It doesn't matter if they built it yesterday. It's the sound of the guitar that counts, not the history. Sorry, guys. But Matthew's enamored with the history. So I said, look, dude, seriously, man, you're caught in the vintage delusion. He's deluded. He is caught up in this idea that some 1940s guitar is going to sound better than a modern day guitar. And it's not. It's just not. But it's a delusion. Well, if you look at the headstock, it's got this ribbon on it. They only did that for 2 years. And then, you know, what's interesting is there was a unique feature during that era that they never did before. If you look at the pick guard, it has checking on it that no other guitar can have. And, you know, it's made out of rosewood, you know. And the one that I like the best, though, there's one here. Let me see if I can find it. 156. These are the girls that worked in the Gibson plant because apparently during World War II, a lot of guys were off fighting the war, right? So Gibson hired a bunch of women to work at the plant. And women made this guitar. So this guitar is one of the greatest sounding guitars ever because these girls made it. Now, can you imagine? I'm challenging you. I'm saying, well, nobody can hear old growth wood. Nobody can hear it. Here's a challenge. Nobody can hear it. Can you imagine if I played a guitar and asked you, do you think a woman built this or a man built this? Bring. Can you imagine I sit with you in front of a guitar and go, now here's your test. Don't tell me if it sounds good. Don't tell me if it sounds bad. Just tell me if a woman built it. Okay? Bling. Come on, guys. I mean, it's beyond, I mean, it's literally beyond ridiculous. People claim these are some of the greatest guitars
ever made.
That Gibson ever made. See, here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again, guys. You know, it's like, well, you know, the Gibson Les Paul 58, 59, it's the greatest guitar ever made. No, the gold top of P90 is the greatest guitar ever made. Oh no, the 42 Southern Jumbo, greatest guitar ever made. Oh no, the Gibson Hummingbird 62, greatest guitar ever made. Oh no, the Gibson L6, greatest guitar ever made. It's like, come on, dude. You gotta be, you're delusional. And then I said, look, I'm not one to judge, man. Just enjoy yourself. Cheers. He's a young kid. You know, he's a young kid. He's getting into these vintage guitars. You know, he enjoys himself. He does record. See, the thing about this kid is he records records. You know, he writes his songs. He records records. You know, he's got his stuff up on SoundCloud. More power to the kid. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about him, but he's literally Tom's the poster boy for Burst Believer Fever. But this guy right here is suffering from the vintage delusion. He believes somehow that an old guitar is better than a new guitar. And these guitars go for, let's see here, $17,750. You can have yourself one of the best sounding guitars in the world for 17 grand. Now, the thing with this is, I used to go to this store in Santa Monica called McCabe's Music. It's in Santa Monica. I used to love to go down to Santa Monica. It's a great little city. It's in LA, but it's not LA. It's some municipality there right next to the beach. And this place called McCabe's, they are filled with acoustic guitars. Like, that's their specialty, is acoustic guitars, right? And they have this one room that's wooden. It's all wood inside the room, right? And there's a door that shuts and opens. So you get in the room and you shut the door, and it's all wood, and they have a humidifier in there to keep the humidity up. at the perfect humidity, right? And the perfect temperature. And the wood itself on the wall, helps the guitar, the sound of the room is great. Sound of the room is fantastic. And they have guitars in there that are miles, not just a little bit better, miles better than any Gibson you'll ever pick up. They have got these handmade boutique guitars, acoustic guitars, that are so high quality that when you play them, your mind will literally melt. Like if you bought one of these guitars, and these guitars aren't cheap, by the way, and they're $5,000 to $8,000, most of them. They're not cheap, okay? But neither is this, $17,000. So, for $5,000 to $8,000, you could buy a guitar that sounds way better than this, will probably last longer, and it sounds better. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. If you did a blind sound test on some of these guitars they have at McCabe's, in this room right here, this wall shows a lot of banjos, but there's these handmade guitars they have in this room. I think Santa Cruz Guitar Company is one of them. Something called Bourgeois or something, Burgeos. They have some really high-end breed loves. It's been a while since I've been in the store, but hands down, I guarantee you they have guitars in there that will blow this Gibson. Absolutely destroy this Gibson. Blow it out of the water. Not just sound better than it, not just play better than it, blow it out of the water. And for 1/3 the cost. See, this is another one of my problems with these vintage guitars is the only time they were of value was when they're old guitars. The only time this guitar was really good and was really of value was when it was an old guitar. When you went to a guy's house, right, and he's got this guitar in the closet and it's missing a couple strings, and he goes, "Yeah, this is my grandpa's guitar. What do you think? $50? $100? You go, "Yeah, dude, I'll give you $75 for it." He goes, "Okay." You take it home, play it. It sounds good. $50, $75, no problem. Those days are long gone. By the way, those days are 20 years gone, maybe even 30 years gone now. When you could go find an old Fender, 70s Fender at a guy's house and go, "Man, what do you think?" $100. You go, "Okay, cool. I'll take it. It's an old guitar, it's $100. It's a Fender, plays good." Nowadays, those Fenders are going for $5,000, $6,000. See, that's the only time these vintage guitars were good was when they weren't vintage. They were just old guitars sitting around. Nobody wanted them. They were old guitars. A new guitar is better. They knew even back then a new guitar was better. Why is an old guitar cheaper? Because they're making guitars way better now than they did in 1973. In 1993, they're making guitars way better than they were in 1973. And the guys who had the 73 knew that. They went, "Well, I'm competing against, I got this old beat-up guitar and it's competing against a real nice 93. Give me $100. Give me $150. Give me $200. You got $100? Yeah, dude, here you go." And you get a decent guitar that plays well and it's way less than a new one. That's the only time these guitars were good. $17,000 for this guitar, it's beyond overpriced. Look, you can buy a reissue. Right here's a reissue. They're like $5,000. They're like $3,000 to $5,000. I think new they're like $5,000, which to me is already overpriced. Because like I said, you can go to McCabe's and get an absolute handmade masterpiece for like $5,000, $6,000, $8,000. So why would I pay for a $5,000, $6,000 for a factory made guitar that doesn't sound as good as the boutique guitar? I wouldn't do it. See, to me, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 for an acoustic, they're already overpriced. I wouldn't pay that for them. But now since this one's $5,000, right? Then the original one should be about $3,000. So you can buy a new one for $5,000. So to buy the older one, you should be paying less. So you should be paying about $2,000 to $3,000 for it if it's in good condition. That's when an old guitar is good. When the guitar all of a sudden becomes more than a new guitar and more than a new guitar, the value is not there. The value in the guitar is not there. Especially when it doesn't sound as good. There's sound examples of these if you want to hear them. My audio interface doesn't really do a good job, otherwise I would play it. But Matt plays the guitar, thinks it sounds fantastic. Let me tell you something, this one sounds better. Okay, I'll just tell you point blank, this one sounds better. Now, there is some subjective leeway here in these things, but objectively, it looks better, it's built better, it plays better, and in my opinion, it sounds better. You can decide for yourself if you watch the videos. You can hear them. But anyway, the delusion also goes with the fact that this idea that they have something you can't have. Part of the vintage delusion is that they have something you can't have. That's Tom's biggest selling point on his vintage guitars. That's why he has all these vintage guitars, because he wants to set himself apart from every other guitar player, because his ego won't allow him to understand you're slightly above average guitar players like everybody else. He can't handle that, his ego. So he has to have this guitar that you can't possibly get. He has to have a guitar that you can't possibly get. So in his particular case, he has that pre-CBS Lake Placid Blue Strat that's now turned into the ugliest green guitar you'll ever see. Because it's rare, it's super rare. To have a Lake Placid Blue guitar is rare. To have one that's changed that color is rarer. You're never gonna get it. You're never gonna have it. You're never gonna be able to play it. See, he's playing one of these old Gibsons with the staple pickups in it. How many of these were ever made? Not that many. You can't get one. And they're probably like 20 grand, 20, 30 grand. You can't get one. That's why he's playing it, because he wants to set himself apart and say, and that's what I noticed with a lot of these vintage guys, is they're like, basically like, you can't get this guitar. You can't get this guitar. I have it and you don't. Therefore, I'm better than you. Therefore, I'm better than you. And that's what Tom had said way back when he said, I don't want to start a class war, but he wants to be in a different class than you because he can't stand the fact, absolutely cannot stand the fact that he's just a normal, average, regular guitar player. And neither can a lot of these vintage guys. They can't separate themselves from anybody else in terms of their playing. So they have to go, well, I've got a pre-CBS Strat. What do you got? Well, I got a mid-war, what do they call it? A wartime 42 to 45 Gibson Southern Jumbo. What do you got? You got the reissue? Oh man, sorry about that. They have to use this vintage guitar to somehow separate themselves from you, from me, from everybody else. Because when it comes down to it, they're just a dude playing a guitar. These vintage guys, Matthew included, he wants to separate himself from everybody by having all this vintage. See, I got this vintage gear and you don't have it because it's rare and you can't find it that much and it's expensive. Therefore, I'm better than you. That's what a lot of the game is. And it's a vintage delusion. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you next time.